Okay, we're here today talking with Loyd Smith, U.S. Navy veteran. We're up here. If you can't tell from the backdrop, we're not in the VSO. We're in the town of Waterville Hall. And Loyd is not only a veteran, he happens to be the mayor of this lovely town. So, welcome, Loyd.
Well, thank you.
Hey, could you give us a little background on yourself?
Sure. Well, I was born in Rexburg, Idaho. I was raised by my grandparents in Sequim, Washington, until I was 12. Then I went to Seattle and lived with my dad and my stepmom in the area called Burien, which is South Seattle. And upon my junior year, basically my counselor became a very special friend of me and several of my friends, and encouraged us to join the Navy Reserves in our junior year. We went to boot camp between our junior and senior year.
Now, where was that?
That was in San Diego.
San Diego.
And
I know better than to ask that. Every Navy guy asks, he goes, San Diego?
Yeah, so San Diego, yeah. And then upon returning, finished the senior year in high school, and then went into regular Navy and was dispatched to Vietnam. I was a radioman, and was over there for approximately 4 years.
Now, what year did you deploy to Vietnam?
In 1965, in the fall of 65. And then I was brought back into the Seattle area. I ended up spending some time at the Balboa Hospital in San Diego, and I was discharged there the 7th of December of 1969. And then from there I came back home, and back in those days we weren't very welcomed back home, coming back from Vietnam, and so I hitchhiked around the United States for a year and decided I'd come back to the Washington state and make it my home state. So I've been back here since then. So,
Great.
And
did you have a business, or what, when you got back from employment?
yeah, after I got back from deployment, I actually started to become a glazer, window setter for glass, and that market pretty much crashed, as you will say, but was totally eliminated. Then I went to work for Boeing's as a lathe operator, and I was with them for almost a year, and then they had the major layoff in Seattle, where the saying in Seattle was, the last one to leave Seattle, turn off the lights.
I remember seeing that billboard there.
Yeah, it was very popular, and then I had a friend that encouraged me to look into becoming a barber. He said, you've always had artistic abilities in high school. And so I went and checked with Barber College in Renton called Folks Barber College. They had a special program that if you were a vet, that you could go to school for 30 days and see if you liked it.
Great.
And if you didn't like it, you were able to walk away with no financial obligations. And I pretty much fell in love with it, and I've been doing it ever since.
Yeah, you're still doing it, just
Yes.
across the street there.
Yeah, many, many years later. Yeah. And so, and then had a salon over in Sequim, and it was very productive. I had one at South Center. I've had one at Totem Lake Shopping Center when the Seahawks first started.
Right.
I did a lot of the Seahawks hair. Jim Zorns and Steve
That's a
Largent.
retreat.
Oh, it was great memories back then. And anyway, worked my way back over to Sequim, set up a salon there, and then the governor we had at the time deregulated the barber and beauty industry, basically set it back about 50 years, and I thought, well, maybe it's time for me to move on. And then I had an opportunity to go to California and interview to take over a construction company building homes, and I did not know nothing about building homes, but anyway, went through the interview, got hired by a company called Penn Brothers, which was actually two school teachers that had build a house on Lake Tahoe, and they sold it and made more money than they did going to school, teaching school, and so they went into construction. And that's where I developed, and that went on for 15 years with different companies down there.
Right.
And then when the housing market crashed in '08, my wife says, it's time to go back up to Washington, and she says, I want to go to Waterville. And I kind of...
How did she pick Waterville out of all the places?
She had a couple grandchildren from a previous marriage that was living here. She wanted to come up and watch them grow up. And so I came up and I says, okay, I'll give you 3 years and we're going to relocate down in the tri-state areas, primarily because of the background that I had.
Sure.
And the company I left in California negotiated to work with them for another 18 months. And so I commuted back and forth to California every week for 18 months. And to finish up a major project down in Fresno, California, which was the Fresno Irrigational District Administration Facility. Mm-hmm. And it's won international awards. So, and they've called me, believe it or not, just a little over a month ago and asked me if I'd come back to work with them. And I go, no, too old, too tired.
Don't think so. Yeah, that's a lot of responsibility, a lot of hours.
Yeah.
A lot of hours.
So then I got involved here in Waterville, opened up a shop. When I first got here, they didn't have a barber shop or a beauty shop. And the barber shop has done very well. Been here for almost 18 years. And actually about 17, I guess. But and it's worked out very, very well. And got involved. The former mayor here, Royal Devaney, found out that I was also on the town council in Sequim. And so he pretty much encouraged me to get involved with the council here in Waterville, and I did, and developed a good relationship with him and watched the maturity of the town, develop. And
sure, the last 17, 18 years, there's been a lot happening in the
yes,
town.
Yeah, it really has. Yeah, the town's changed a lot. A lot of things are going on, and I was encouraged to run for mayor, and I did, and I was elected as mayor. And right now we've got major projects such as our wastewater project. We finished up our pool as far as replacing the hot water tank and the boiler and a lot of electrical systems.
That's a big project in itself. Yes. I can remember that.
Yes, very big. And I was very fortunate to get the grant from the Douglas County PUD. Mm-hmm. And now we're going to go for another grant for lining the pool in 2027. Sure. And then besides that, we've got a lot of road constructions going on and developments that is going on throughout the community as well. Sure. So
it's a nice little community. My wife and I relocated up here 33 years ago.
Oh, really? Yeah.
And we just thought we were going to stay until we could find a better house. But I mean, we bought our house for $55,000.
Wow.
And I'm sure there's people that just heard that and just went, well, really, it must be like a Sears tool shed or something, But back then, the prices were very reasonable.
Sure.
And of course, they've come up along with prices everywhere.
Yeah. And our home's pretty well established here, And so we had a house built, and with my background, I was able to critique it pretty tightly.
Yeah. Especially when you know the business, you know where they like to maybe trim a corner here and there.
And stopped a lot of that. So
just make those corners square and even and level.
So, and the experience I had in Vietnam was pretty devastating. Seeing a lot of my friends not come home, and I graduated from Highline High School. We had 428 classmates that graduated. We were right in the heart of Vietnam. And I'm looking at possibly going to the class reunion in a couple weeks, and we've been told there's only 123 of us left out of the whole class. And I know when we went to the 10th year reunion, we had over 200 of my classmates that were lost in Vietnam.
Well,
and
that's
both men and women, and so
that's a big percentage out of just one
very
class.
large, very large. Yeah.
And that was at a Squim, did you say?
No, that's out of Berrien and
Yeah,
Highline
okay,
High
good.
School.
Highline,
Yeah.
okay, Berrien.
Yeah, and they've now since built multiple high schools, so those high schools are much, much smaller.
Sure.
But no regrets, you know. Have a lot of compassion for vets and people that have an understanding heart to other people, you know. And so, but really look forward to working with Waterville and the community and with the veterans in the area.
And there's several veterans right here in Waterville.
Yes. Yeah, pretty anxious about this. Coming summer, we're wanting to take the sunken garden and rededicate it for the veterans from World War I.
Absolutely.
And I believe it was the veterans and their wives. And so we're pretty excited about that. And that's going to be a thing that we're going to really be looking at.
That'll be really nice.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be something that'll be lasting for a long time. But
Well, is there anything else you would like to share? Well,
no, I have no regrets coming to Waterville.
no, neither have I.
Yeah.
You know, it's peaceful and it's quiet. Sometimes we've had people that have visited us from the bigger cities, and at night they're out on our front porch, and we'll have to tell one little story. There was a guy, and he came over from Seattle, and we'd been sitting out front, and when I drank beer, and we were having a beer and everything. We were out there for a couple hours, and he remarked, he said, "Does anybody use this street out in front of your house?" I said, "Yeah, I mean, this is the main thoroughfare up to the county seat, the courthouse." He says, "Well, I've been sitting here for 2 hours, and I haven't even heard a car up here." Well, about that time, a junior high girl comes by on her horse. I said, "Hang on, here comes the afternoon rush." And she just kind of plodded by. And he said, "I don't think I could take it up here. It's just way too quiet. No sirens but no, it's a wonderful little town."
Yeah, it is. I have good friends from California. They come up every year. They say it's just totally peace and quiet, where they can just unwind. And we have people from Tri-City, friends of ours. They come up here and say just get away from during the summer. They just love the quietness there is, and you know, going out and driving through the wheat fields and out through the country.
I was thrilled to see the article about the renovation of the Vista House up there. You know,
yes.
That was when I worked here. It wasn't a lot of my time that I spent up there, but I did spend some time working in that timber unit.
Oh, really?
We planted. Well, Don Avey, the
Sure.
supervisor at the time, he and I planted 24,000 trees up there.
Wow.
And that was all by hand. There was no machine
No
involved.
machines.
But no, I heard some history from Mabel Knowles, the lady there, that she showed me a picture in '48 when her high school class went up there for a picnic. And I said, you know, this would really be something to, you know, it has lasted real well.
Yes.
And that speaks highly of the timber that came off of Badger Mountain at the time.
Sure does.
And I was thrilled to see that it's going to be updated.
Yeah.
And that's a piece of Waterville history, along with the ski hill up there. And
that's one of my projects. We've got material being ordered right now. We've got some fundraising going on. I've had a couple engineers go up and take a look at it and see the stability of it. Basically, all the vertical posts are good shape except for one.
Sure.
But the roof needs to be replaced, so we're looking at removing the wooden shakes there,
Sure.
sheeting it, tar papering it, and then putting metal roofing on it.
Yeah, that's going to be a lot nicer.
Yeah, and then next year, we want to do it this year, but we're just running out of time. Put a concrete flooring in with concrete booting, 1 foot diameter boot all the way around the entire Vista hut.
Sure.
With reinforced rebar and mesh wiring. So the stability of that will,
last.
Yeah, we look at it's going to last way over another 100 years.
And that's great, you know, because that's just another, and I mean the recent logging operation that you guys had done up there, You know, I took part in some of the planning, and when it was logged in 92, 93,
Oh, really?
and
Yeah.
I knew the person that was administering the sale for Boise Cascade,
Oh,
and I
wow.
thought that I had seen it
Yeah.
before, and I saw the number, trees per acre in there, and it was just a fire trap and a bug
Yeah.
trap waiting to happen. It hadn't at the time, and it was very timely that they did go out and remove all the bug and disease that
Sure.
was in there and open it up a little bit. But this last time, if people need to see the way that forest units can be properly managed,
Yes.
this is a prime example. You have almost 200 acres of park up
Yeah.
on Badger Mountain now. And I
Yeah.
mean, it opens up for wildlife and recreation, and um, it reduces your risk
sure
for
does.
catastrophic fire by
Yeah.
tons.
Yeah, the
So,
Department of Natural Resources last year really worked hand in hand with us and cleaned it up, cleaned up the brush, cleaned the undergrowth, as you're probably aware of, and they've been able to open up a couple more runs for the ski slope.
yep.
And for people that have never been up there, they're missing an unbelievable, breathtaking view of not just um, Waterville and the valley, you know, the flatlands out
Cascades,
the
yeah.
plateau, but
Yeah.
if you look more to the west, the mountain range is just breathtaking as well.
Well, on a clear day, that almost sounds like I'm going to burst into song, but we're not going that far. But on a clear day, when you look north up there, you can see up into the Colville. You can
Yeah,
see Sherman Pass. You can see some of the mountains up there. And I've had people up there before, and when it was nice there wasn't any haze like in the fall or just
uh-huh,
before winter time. And you can see up there, and you put a decent pair of binoculars on. It's amazing what you can see so far up there. I mean,
wow,
that's a couple 100 miles,
yeah, at least, yeah,
but that they're just that much higher than the plateau down
uh,
here that you can actually see that line in there at Sherman Pass and those different
yeah.
places.
It's amazing. A lot of people aren't aware of it. Kind of surprises people that the Vista Hut, the altitude that it's at. It's higher than the Snoqualmie Pass,
Yeah, yeah.
and people go, wait a minute, how can that be? And it says we're over 4,000 square feet there, you know?
Well, I mean, the
And
top of Badger Mountain is higher than Blewett Pass,
yeah,
where it goes over Blewett Pass.
and that's,
In fact, it's just a few feet shy of the parking lot level at Mission Ridge.
really,
Yeah, I know that
really,
because I've been up there a few times, and
wow.
but people when they go, no, 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 yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. So
yeah,
and
I know I've been told by some old timers that Vista Hut, the ski hill, was one of the first slopes in the entire state of Washington
that's
that
right.
was open for skiing.
Yeah.
And so it's got an incredible history up there. But
I've had skiing friends of mine say, yeah, well, it's probably kind of flatline. You guys, you live up in Waterville. I said, yeah, you come up and run down that A hill. Could you tell me that thing is steeper than a cow's face? I've been walking up and down it with a chainsaw on my shoulder and going like, there was many times I wish somebody would have brought the 1 ton back down to the bottom, so when I got through, I could walk down with a chainsaw and gas instead of having to walk
walk
back
up.
up. But yeah, I guarantee if you're a skier, you want a thrill, but also the other places, if you have young children, down there by the lodge, I mean, there's
Oh
that
yeah,
little bunny hill in there, and sledding, and there's ample opportunity for people
yeah,
on cross-country skis now that unit has opened up.
yeah,
So,
yeah. That lodge they have down there is incredible food by I believe it's the Lions,
yeah,
and they do an incredible job. This last year was one of the longest ski seasons they've had in the history of Badger Mountain.
it was perfect, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
That was
Yeah,
great.
they were open, but
But,
yeah. So we're seeing a lot of changes in Waterville. We're looking at things that developing. We got road recovery. We got grants that are coming in, and so my desires when I leave office, which is another 2.5 years, that all these goals that I have will be accomplished, and the Vista Hut is one of the big ones that I have. It's just that the funding was very limited this year, so we're only going to be able to do part of it. But next year we're going to go for the concrete, which is going to be, we'll just change it and stabilize it for years to come. And
Well, and it's, some of the veterans that I've talked to, and they are, as they're not mayors of their town, but they're in similar situations like you, where they are overseeing projects or things like that, and that a lot of them, it comes back, they will mention that the time that they spent in the service, the can-do attitude, the discipline, planning,
very true.
all these different things that the military, and it doesn't make a difference which service you're in, but they train you and they teach you, they all hold over into your civilian life, even if what you did in the military specifically does not hold over. Those basic principles of, getting together, working with people as a group, coming to a common thought and focusing on the project, focusing on the mission and completing it. Now, do you find that in your position here as mayor?
Oh yes, very, very true. I have absolutely no regrets in the military. It's taught me a lot of self-discipline and evaluation of the conditions before you act,
Sure.
and I'm a very strong supporter of all the veterans. And so there's a bondage that happens there that you don't get any other where, nowhere else. And so I'm really anxious to work with the veterans in the area more. And we've got some veterans such as yourself, that's willing to help with the Vista Hut and other developments around the town. And if we need help, we just reach out, and the veterans are there to help, where people who have not been in the military do not understand the compassion for the fellow man and for the existence of people around him. So,
Well, I mean, I was thrilled when I heard about how you guys were going about the sunken garden, because that's always working in the park.
yeah,
Always try to keep that as nice as possible, because it was kind of special to me as a veteran that
sure.
that was a legacy from veterans past
Yeah.
a long time, but still they deserve to be remembered. And I look forward to seeing it completed, how it's going to be, and maybe getting some of the organizations and people that I know to have a nice crowd of veterans come up and maybe take part in the celebration.
That'd be exciting
when it's dedicated, because I think that's something we can all celebrate when any veterans, regardless of their age or war, are honored. So.
Yeah, our goal is to try to have it ready by Arbor Day of this next year.
Sure.
And we want to plant a plant there. We're going to have basically an in-ground plaque that we'll dedicate, because they've had plaques up before and they've been misused and abused, and I'll put it that way. And
you don't want to make them targets of opportunity.
Yeah. And so, we're pretty excited about it. And so
I am too. That's kind of my backyard there, so I'm thrilled.
Yeah, I'd be anxious to have some color cards or military dedication at the same time. So I've already worked with the newspaper on it, and they're planning on it for it to be a pretty big story. Rededicating that, the sunken garden to the veterans. So, and that's what I want to work at.
Now, I spoke briefly with the Saline County Veteran Service Officer, Tony Sandoval. I'm going to be videotaping the Purple Heart event on August 7th down there, and he said that you were going to have a conversation with him about that. I'm not sure what the Purple Heart. I know what the Purple Heart and the ceremonies, everything about, but he was talking about getting some of the towns around Wenatchee involved, and I'm not sure whether you and he had that discussion yet.
We've had a very light discussion. We're supposed to be getting together again in the near future, but we're looking at making communities Purple Heart veteran communities, and just give a little more recognition and make people more aware of it. unfortunately, a lot of the young people today that's not in the military, they cannot relate with what the military has brought upon people's lives and how it's changed them, you know. And so, anxious to work with them.
Well, I think it's important for the young people, and it's also important for that other 98 or 99% people that do not serve to realize and understand exactly what they enjoy every single day, at what price it costs the 1%.
Yeah, what it
Because
costs to
it's
pay.
certainly not free, and some people seem to think, well, that's just the way America is. Well,
Yeah.
if it wasn't for the few, the many, it wouldn't be the way it is.
Yeah.
So,
All
well, Loyd, had a great chat.
Well, thank you.
And
It's been a pleasure.
I appreciate you sitting down and being so candid, and hopefully the people not only learn something about you, but about Waterville and the activities that are going on up here, and
Well, thank you.
come up to visit. So thanks again.
All right.
I appreciate
Thank
it.
you.